Ball Don't Stop podcast, man. I like that dude, man. Will Barton was getting an interview on Ball Don't Stop, and you know, he talks about Kobe a lot because he understands the game. He talks about Kobe a lot. Last time I seen him had a former player on there was Isaiah Thomas, not the legend, but the younger one. And he was talking about Kobe, and he was like, just describing like, man, it's not even close, man. These dudes, other than Michael Jordan, but he said anybody that came around the same time as Kobe or after Kobe, he's like, it's not even close, man. Isaiah Thomas was saying that. And it was interesting to hear how Will Barton talked about him, because Will Barton had to guard Kobe a lot. Listen to what Will Barton said about Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, take us through that. What made him what we consider the best that's ever done it?
He took the previous GOAT, who I believe was the best ever, took his game and not only mastered it, but I think he was a little bit better at it. I just truly do. It was like more redefined, and it was more with a little more flair with it, besides the athleticism part. But you look at the jabs, the post work, the midi work, right? The finishing around the rim, making and taking tough shots. And to do it that often and be that polished, like we're talking about guys guarding Kobe, and they would guard him like this while he's shooting. He might have been the first player to ever be literally guarded like that.
Shane Battier did that too, remember?
But I'm just saying, I think Kobe was the first player to ever get guarded like that, right? Sometimes double team like that, and he's still making these shots, and they're not rolling around the rim, going in. I mean, these are swishes. The biggest knock I see on sometimes Mike and Kobe when it comes to LeBron is like, oh, LeBron is a better just overall basketball player. And mainly people talk about the passing, right? And I tell people all the time, Kobe and Mike were gifted passers. But the object of the game, the most important thing in the game is the score, no matter how you slice it. And they understood that. So they were always trying to get buckets. You had to literally stop them to make them pass. And I feel like that's how the game is supposed to be played. You're always supposed to put pressure on the defense and make them stop you. So that's why I feel like, those two are on another level. I feel like it's Mike and Kobe and then everyone else. And I feel like Kobe is a little better than Mike.
Take us through.
Sheesh. So that's an interesting take, because I don't have Kobe over Mike. I think they're both the best two players I've seen and observed, right? Were there others before them that I wasn't able to observe that was probably as polished and as good? I'm quite sure. World Brief Fever was pretty good. David Thompson was pretty good. He had problems with, he had substance abuse problems and stuff like that. So we probably didn't get to see the best of him, but there was a lot of polish and good basketball players. But both ends of the floor, Mike and Kobe, very complete, very polished, in everything they did. They was perfectionists, right? They worked on things. Wherever they shot the ball from, it was picture perfect, right? The release point was right, the rotation was right, the form, the shot mechanics, the base, the foundation. Like, Ray Allen taught, and Ray Allen is a sharpshooter, one of the greatest 3-point shooters of all time. Can still be arguably in the argument with Steph. Yes, Steph shot more threes and hit more threes than him, but I don't think it's just a foregone conclusion that it's Steph. Ray Allen could very well be still in that conversation, right? If there's a debate to be had. So coming from Ray Allen, who's a sharpshooter and one of the greatest sharpshooters of all time, he called Michael Jordan a sharpshooter, right? He said, no, like what you don't understand about Mike is he's a great shooter. Not good, great, right? I think Kobe was the same way. They were great shooters. They were so great that their mid-range jump shot was just as good as some people's shots at the rim, right? Because Mike and Kobe shot a lot of jump shots from the mid-range, 1 to 2 dribble pull-ups. They shot a lot of fadeaways out of the post. Those were their shot. They shot a lot of fadeaways out of the mid-post, high post, back to the basket type stuff. That jump shot was so good. I think Mike shot it at, his field goal percentage was close to 50, about 49. I think Kobe's was close to 45. Right. So if Mike is shooting it at almost 50% and more than half of his shots are jump shots with a hand in his face, and Kobe is shooting at 45% and most of his shots are jump shots with a hand in his face, it's some people like Ray Allen who Ray Allen's a shooter as well. He was shooting at 44%. And no one's giving him the label of being inefficient or not a good scorer or inefficient scorer or nothing like that. Like, there are a lot of people who shot it around. Most all the jump shooters, if you shoot jump shots for a living, you're not going to be shooting, like, you got to be MJ to be shooting at 50%. But when you're shooting jump shots, you're shooting a harder shot. You're shooting a mid-range with a hand in your face. You seen how Shane Battier used to contest Kobe's jump shots, hand right in his eyeball. Like, he was taking those type of shots, right? He was accepting the challenge of the harder task, because trying to get all the way to the rim all the time is very elementary, right? The first thing you learn in basketball is dribble the basketball, and then the first shot you try to learn is probably a layup. You got to learn how to do a layup. And if you're fast and you can dribble well enough, you can, all the way up to 5th grade, you probably can dribble past every slow person and get a layup. They can't stop you from getting to the lane and getting a layup. So running past somebody really fast by dribbling and getting a layup or a dunk is the most elementary way to score the basketball, right? But when you start adding things to your game, you got to have an in-between game. Even before you develop that three-point shot, your in-between games got to be there, right? Because what happens when they condense everything and there's a lane clogged up and you're playing against a zone in high school or middle school, right? Everything can't be, I'm getting all the way to the rim. It's 3 in a 2-3, it's 3 dudes down there. It's 3 dudes down there. So driving through that, trying to get all the way to the rim is not happening, right? You've got to be able to get somewhere in that mid-range area and pull up for a jump shot or throw a runner or some type of floater or anything like that. You got to have that in-between game, that mid-range game in your repertoire. That's a step up. That's an advanced shot. Getting all the way to the rim for a layup is the first shot you learn. Mid-range is an advanced shot. Then you got to be able to hit your free throws. To be professional, especially if you're a wing player who's going to have the ball a lot, you're going to get fouled a lot. You got to be able to hit your free throws. Those are 2 areas where LeBron does not, he doesn't supersede over a player like Michael Jordan or Kobe. Bad free throw shooter, bad in between game, bad post game. So what does he excel at? The elementary stuff. I can get all the way to the rim and get a layup, and because I'm fast and I can get to the rim, some people back off of me and give me wide open threes. He don't even have to work for his threes. They give him his threes. No one has ever backed off of Kobe's 6 feet and said, take that wide open 3 or take that wide open shot at all. Or let's put him on the free throw line in the 4th quarter, right? No one's doing that for Kobe Bryant, right? So Will Barton makes a very good point about Michael Jordan and Kobe being 2 of the best, and then there's everybody else. I actually agree with him on that. I see my girl Sports T in here. Where did that comment go, Sports T? If I can find it. I can't find Sports T's comment. Where did it go? There we go. So many of these range shooters can't shoot the mid-range. Facts. They don't want to. It's not even a good shot no more. And we'll get to that in a minute. Every time LeBron hits a shot, he's surprised. Yeah. That's a fact, man. That's a fact. But I'm glad Will Barton was able to say that. Like I said, man, that was on the podcast. Ball Don't Stop, man. My mind is all over the place, man. Ball Don't Stop podcast, man. I love that dude, man. He got a lot of knowledge of the game, man. I wonder if he played overseas somewhere. I just like the way he talk about the game, man. We probably had a good conversation if we ever chop it up, man. But yeah, no phone calls on that, man. I just wanted to throw that out there. But I am gonna take phone calls on this next topic.